So that's a good way to start off a feast, huh? Praise the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And peace to everybody that's here in the name of Jesus. Peace to everybody that's listening in on the line and also tuning in on the internet. And if I didn't have no message, I'll just let the choir keep on singing. But we do have a message from the Lord, as it said. But before I get into that, like I said, I welcome everybody here and welcome everybody on the phone and on the internet. And we got a lot of people that this is their only form to be able to worship this way, because you know what we're doing here today is not common. It's not on every corner. We are a minute amount of people doing this today, just to keep it real. So we got people really all over the country. And this is the only way they can partake in this feast and the Lord's other holy days is via the internet. So, and via the phone line that we have set up. But we got a lot of people that's doing that. And I'm just going to mention a few places. I know we got, I say peace to, we got Sister Kerma, who's always with us. She lives in California, near San Diego. Nice little ways from my L.A. congregation, so she's always with us. And I'm going to name a few more that's, that I know are with us. Brother Hall, Albert, and his wife Ethel. They are a little ways from Philadelphia from our congregation, so they don't usually make it because that's a nice drive for them. But they in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Sister Venus, Detroit. Brother Lawrence is always with us in Dallas, Texas. Brother Harold in near San Antonio, that's Converse, Texas. Brother Francisco, he's also in Allentown, even though I know he made it to the Passover in Philadelphia. And Brother, I'm not sure about, I know Brother George in near Atlanta. Hiram is with us, Hiram, Georgia. Brother Jediah, he usually got a whole big crowd with him. He's really right outside Atlanta too. Brother Jediah and his wife and family. And Sister Tanika, she's going to come here to get baptized pretty soon. She's from Oklahoma City. Sister Benita, Phoenix. Sister Salika, I know she listens to all the questions she always asking me. In Morgantown, North Carolina. Most everybody know Sister Marcella, who's also in North Carolina, in Charlotte. Sister Josie, she still be getting the CDs. I don't know if she's able to listen on the phone or not, but she's in Houston, Texas. We got Sister Kim in Indianapolis. So that's just a few of the people that we know are worshiping with us all over the country on the phone line and on the internet. So I want to welcome all those people along with everybody here to celebrate the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And like I said, this is a rarity. Everybody is not doing this. Matter of fact, today is a Monday, so the majority of people went back to work today and doing their thing and not aware of the importance of today. But we're going to get into it, and we're going to have a relatively short lesson. Then we're going to celebrate as the Lord prescribed with some physical food. But it's most important that we get spiritual food so we know what we are worshiping. We're going to start off in John, the 4th chapter, because Jesus said something. He said something concerning worshiping God. And that's what this is about. That's what we're here to do. We're here to honor God. But unfortunately, we've been made to think, and it's a cliche that goes around, that we can worship God kind of any way we feel like it. That we can, you can worship God your way and I can worship God my way. And believe me, that sounds good, but that's not biblical. And when you understand this feast, we celebrated the Passover yesterday. That kicks things off for us and is letting you know that you don't even have a chance without the Passover lamb, who we know is Jesus. That starts it off. See, you got a lot of people say they celebrating the Passover. I know some Hebrews celebrate it, and our brother Esau celebrated, who called himself a Jew. He celebrated, but see, a lot of them don't even know about Jesus. They don't know about Jesus, how that he is the real Passover lamb. That he is, as people say around December 25th, he is the reason for the season. So that's what we're going to talk about today real briefly. And the title is The Pure Unleavened Bread Worship. The Pure Unleavened Bread Worship. Jesus, the reason for the season. But God gave you this holy day to show you that you cannot worship anyway, any kind of way you feel like it. I can't worship my way and somebody worship their way. Now, God is a jealous God. He's a particular God. And he demands worship the way he prescribed. That's why the first commandment is what? Don't have no other gods before me. Why? Even though we know really, technically, it's how many gods? It's only one God. Jesus is a part of the Godhead, but still it's only one God. Family. It's only one God. But he knows that man would concoct his own imagination. Imaginal gods. He knows that man would do that. Would imaginate and make up some gods. So, he said don't have no gods before him. So, that shows you got to come the straight and narrow way. You got to worship the one Lord with the one faith and the one baptism. That's why he tells you that. But notice what Jesus said. The pure unleavened bread worship. Jesus, the reason for the season. Because he gave you all of his holy days to keep in due season. And this is the season for the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And we're going to read it right out the Bible. John 4:22 though. Read what Jesus said. He said this to a sister that was not an Israelite. But anybody from any nationality can be saved. But it all starts with Israel. That's where the true worship starts with. That's why all the prophets came from Israel. That's why when Jesus came and the apostles, where did they come from? All of them came from Israel. So much so, Jesus said in Matthew 15, and he told the disciples in Matthew 10, he was only sent to the lost sheep of Israel. Because that's who he started with, Israel. But it's for everybody, but everybody got to come the one way. And it's according to, that's why he gave you the Feast of Unleavened Bread. So we're going to do this for 7 days. We're going to eat unleavened bread, and we're going to abstain from leavening. That's the two components of this feast. Years ago, you kind of just thought, people just thought, well, when we was first doing it, you just don't eat leavened bread. But now it's two components to the Feast of Unleavened Bread. The first directive is you must eat unleavened bread for 7 days. And the second one is you cannot eat any leavening, which stands for leavened bread. He tell you don't eat no leavened bread, and that includes all forms of bread, cookie, cakes, for 7 days. So that's the two components. But we're going to get into it. The pure unleavened bread worship, Jesus, the reason for the season. John 4 and verse 22. Read that verse.
Ye worship, ye know not what.
We
know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews.
Now you see what? Now this is Jesus himself talking, right? He made a statement to this Samaritan woman because this Samaritan woman really thought she knew something about God already. She tried to tell Jesus a few things. She said, yeah, I think you're a prophet because you say such and such, and I think you're right. Jesus finally let her in on a big secret. here at verse 22. What did he say? Ye worship you know not what. That's a big statement, isn't it? That is